Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday of World Cup 2023. We are live in Kissimmee, Florida for some semi-pro paintball action. My name is Todd Ansich. With me, I have Matt Falby. And in some iteration, we'll be with you here all day today, in and out of the booth. So stay tuned for us. On the field, we have Leverage starting out the game against Manawatu Titans. Manawatu Titans come to us from overseas in Spain, if I'm not mistaken.
Leverage has a relatively conservative breakout. They do have some footing issues. I'm seeing a little bit of slipping out there. That might be early morning wetness.
It's the combination of the dew and the paint oils out there for sure.
Let's talk science. Start it off.
I will tell you that paint oils are seeping into my veins through osmosis right now.
Yeah.
So it looks like we still have
5-5.
Yeah, 5-5.
As we say that, the first player walks off for Leverage.
As well as Titans.
So both teams have lost their best player for trying to get into the snake, right? And I don't mean best talented player, although that may always be the case. But they've lost the player closest to getting into the snake.
Speaking of best player, Titans actually have B. Short coaching them, and I was told that he's actually on their roster. Now, he is not playing, he's not playing.
He could make a surprise appearance.
Maybe. Maybe a one-on-ones.
We'll need to set up the fireworks tunnel.
So there we go. A little bit of backing there on the Titans' behalf. So Titans are at home. Both bunkers at home. We have Dorito 1 as well as Juice Box, it looks like.
Titans up at that 50 left brick, which I think is a great place to stop moving into the snake.
Yep.
Leverage holding onto that Juice Box is made. Oh, and okay. Well, unfortunately, as I say that, the Titans lose their center player. That's a big loss, in my opinion. Leverage swings out to the snake corner. I wouldn't be. Yep, there he goes. He's going. I think he had 50 on his mind, and then a good field vision. He pulled up short to save his life. He's going to wrap, see if he can get gun dominance for just a second on that other tower and make the bump.
Yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, they are from Spain. My bad. It is early. I'm still. Yeah.
Leverage snake player walks
from
off.
New Zealand. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking of the other teams. Sorry, there's so many teams. There's almost 700 teams here down here at World Cup. All right, so we have two Titans player, one in the snake now, one cross field. Looks like just got eliminated going past the Dorito 50.
That was caused by a tactical drop back by one of the Leverage players. He pulled back to that tower, immediately looked to the Dorito side, and got a kill for it. Wow. And this gentleman for Leverage just had a hell of a game. Pascudo.
I like that name.
I believe he's named after an Italian moped, if I'm not mistaken. That was a hell of a game by him. So he did a nice little drop back, immediately got his gun on the Dorito side. It paid dividends, instantly got a kill, and then he went down the tape line and just finished out the game. One more kill and then just walked it in. Yep. Well played, sir.
Yep. So thank you guys for joining us. It is bright and early. I get it. It's just after 7 a.m., so no matter where you're watching from, it's early as far as I'm concerned.
Imagine our California viewers.
Oh, yeah.
If you are watching from the other coast, go back to bed. It's got to be, 4 in the morning or something of that nature?
Yeah.
All right, up next, we're going to have East Coast Effect versus KC Missouri Allstars.
And then coming up next, we're going to have Preferred Mob in the next split deck taking on Greenville Growl. And Vegas Golden Misfits taking on Sacramento Geo DMG. Right after that, we're going to have Ology taking on somebody, and Royal Sea Dogs taking on somebody, but that we're waiting on results from that game to play. Yeah.
If you have a chance, go back and watch the Misfits game versus BZ Fearless yesterday. They had an amazing finish to that game where they pulled out the match and they still had 5 alive in a crazy kamikaze point.
Now, Matt, number one rule of commentating is never send the guests away.
My voice sends them away. It's a lost cause.
When this broadcast is over.
Yeah, when this broadcast is over.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. Yeah. Okay, so All-Stars on the right in the red-colored jerseys.
East Coast Effect plays up the middle, not really pushing the sides very far. They do lose their insert player, so they've lost their ability to get into the snake in an easy manner. So I believe we have 5-on-4 in favor of the All-Stars at the moment. All-Stars doing a good job pushing up the middle. They're at that 40 wedge. So we have a East Coast Effect player in this, what we're calling the Snake Tower, and he's doing a good job preventing any chance of getting into the snake by the All-Stars. Which he's got to do a little bit of damage control right now because they're already down one body.
We've seen a lot of... we've seen a deficit in the snake play late this weekend until late yesterday. We saw more people coming back into the snake. Matt, you think we're going to see some more snake play today, or are people going to be pushing those Doritos?
So the real answer to that question is, have the team solved the puzzle of how to safely get into the snake consistently? And then the second part of that puzzle is, once they're in there, I'd like to see more aggressive play. I don't think players are taking advantage of how easy it is to move up the snake. Look, nothing's easy at this level, but it's easier than I think they think it is. So we have both teams mirrored up in that center wedge. Neither team really a threat to get into the snake at the moment. We have, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5-on-4 at the moment. KC with the slight advantage.
So All-Stars still at home in the tall tower. Then they're at the 40 lay-down wedge. And they're busting out to snake corner right now.
I suspect he won't stay there. He's going to make a move up into the snake as quick as he can. There he goes. Making me look like I know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
You know what happens when you suspect?
No, please tell me. Dad joke incoming?
No,
3, 2, 1.
Now you're not going to get it. So player number 24 for All-Stars in the snake.
Immediately, I believe he pops out that middle player for East Coast Effect. So Effect is down to 3 players.
Yeah, looks like that's Boyer for All-Stars. He's relaying. He's had good conversation with his, or good communication with his players. Now he's going to come up down the tape and wrap inside. He gets 2 immediate players to be able to shoot at, and unfortunately misses his first go. He's going to try around come the other side.
All-Star players starting to make their moves based off that move by number 24, Boyer.
Looks like East Coast just turned away, so now would give a good time for All-Stars to get up that field. And they are coming. We have 3 All-Star players at the 50, 1 cross the 50 right now.
Oh, no. The player in the tower for East Coast Effect takes the walk, which is a very, very important bunker at this point. And now
look at this last player.
And it all falls apart.
It certainly does. All-Star players are going to take this convincingly with a 5 body count. And...
All-Stars are going to, yeah, they wait for the towel. All-Stars didn't want to hit the buzzer. It's a little bit too early to be trying to milk the clock. Maybe they were concerned about hits. Don't know.
Yeah, Boyer was also smart enough to know not to go hang the flag. Let his teammates do it. He had conflict with the players, and maybe he did get a bounce or a hit on him, and he wasn't unaware.
Better be
so
safe
don't take that chance.
Yeah, take a pause before you hit the buzzer. If the other team towels it out, then that eliminates any chance of you having a dirty hang. So go ahead and
really
let the other
check
team.
yourself.
Yeah, well, definitely check yourself. But if you think the other team might be willing to hit the buzzer for you, let them hit the flag,
yep.
And save you any chance of a hit hidden on your pack somewhere.
Yeah. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is 2023 World Cup. Look at my clean shirts already.
Already covered?
Yeah, I can't go anywhere nice. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Todd Ansich from Behind the Bunker Paintball Podcast, and with me I have Matt Falby. We'll be with you all weekend.
I'm Matt Falby. I'm from AG Paintball up in Ware, New Hampshire. You can find me at AG Tech on YouTube.
Isn't it New Hampshire?
New Hampshire. Well, that's where the hobbits live. It's like a divided state.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they all those doors had round doors.
Yeah.
Okay, so leverage on your right, Titans on your left.
Titans immediately lose their player going into the God bunker.
Hey, aren't Titans from New Zealand?
They are from New Zealand.
Nice.
We've had this. Oh, yeah, you're back to the Hobbit reference.
No, I'm hammering it into my memory so I don't mistake them for a Spanish team. So leverage on your right. Leverage in the snake corner as well as Dorito 1.
Leverage has a 5-on-4 advantage right now in bodies. Titans have a relatively standard spread out, right? They're not real wide yet. They do have that ever-important tower over here on the snake side. It is so critical. It's probably the only thing keeping this snake corner for leverage in check. And as I say that, he immediately makes the bump.
Yeah.
See, okay, this is great to see. This is what I was talking about, where I didn't think teams were taking advantage of the snake like they could once they were in it. Yeah. Very aggressive play by Boyer.
Oh, tags out of nice. Boyer gets one, retreating back. Oh, no, it's not Boyer. It's number 57. Oh.
Juice box drops. Another player dropping off the back line for the Titans. This is falling apart.
Leverage just eating them up right now.
Titans do have both corners, which is not a bad place to be. And unfortunately, one of the corners is this tiny snake cake.
Leverage does lose a body, but they've their body count's still high. Well done, fellows.
So if Leverage can get somebody over there on that Dorito side, they can absolutely pinch out the snake corner of the Titans. That snake corner cannot live there if there's two guns on them coming from different directions. Right now, number 57 for Leverage is hunting for a butt pack on that snake corner. He's just hoping he leans back.
So nice to see your comments in the live chat, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be watching semi-pro today, as well as some ladies play. We are going to have lots of different matches all over today on this field. Going to be a lot of we're going to do semi-pro quarters, semi-pro ochos, and then we're going to get into the ladies this afternoon starting about 1:45. So thanks for asking. Also, Memballs in the live chat says, hello, Matt. Hello, Todd.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So player walks off for both teams. That leaves just that snake corner and that, just that Dorito corner, and they decide to foul out, which I think is the right decision. Yeah. Once they spread across the 50, especially that snake corner bunker, just the coverage you're getting from it just drops to nothing.
Yeah. There's a schedule on your screen, as you say. You know, we're not making it up. We don't know who those teams are because they're being played right now to fill those slots. That's going to take Leverage up 2-0 with 9 minutes on the clock. Coming back on the field, East Coast Effect down by 1. This is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. That was just to tease the first point. Let's see how East Coast is going to come back against that.
10 seconds.
Here we go. Allstars on my left. Allstars make a real push up the middle. They came out aggressive on that one. They're up by 1 point.
That is a penalty.
Ooh.
Minor penalty being called.
That's going to gut the snake side. Oh, man, another drop. Yeah, snake side of East Coast Effect completely gone now.
Yep.
Number 24, Boyer for Allstars, takes immediate advantage of the situation. He's going to catch the butt pack of that home player for East Coast.
Yeah, there goes one of my last Effect players. And that's it.
Towel. Point approved.
KC Allstars came out looking confident. They played very aggressive, very smooth, and really just took that match. It was not a real seesaw battle whatsoever. So congratulations. They go up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken, and they've put them in a real driver's seat on this match.
Wow, these points are going quick.
Yeah, this has been fast so far. All right, we got Titans and Leverage taking the field again. Leverage is up 2-0 on Titans.
So Titans, Titans have won their first match, second match, and third match, but then lost to Ology yesterday. And then if we come over here and watch Leverage, they've won their first match against Smoke, lost to Killers, and that's all the information that we have from them on PB Leagues.
Game on.
All right, decent spread by Leverage out of the gate. They take that Dorito corner and the can on the snake side. That can on the snake side. Oh, and as I say that, they lose their tower over there on the Dorito side. They do fill in the snake side tower, which is one of the very important bunkers on this field, to stop movement into the snake. So we're at 4-on-5 at the moment. Leverage down by a body. Titans down 2-0 for the match so far. They got 8.5 on the clock, so there's plenty of time to pull this out. Titan player drops out of the middle. That was an important bunker, too. That could either shut down movement up the Dorito side or harass the snake side. So that's a loss. And now they lose their D2. Titans were in a great position just about 30 seconds ago, and it's kind of fallen apart. So Leverage probably isn't in best shape right now to take this point. Although Titans are in a little bit better position to take the snake and maybe flip the field. It really comes down to a battle between that snake tower of Leverage and whether or not the Titans player in that God bunker can make the bump into the snake.
Yeah, that's player number 14, Daniel Lincoln, at the 50 there. The center brick, hold it down.
There's a window here for the Titans player to make that bump. The tower came off of him. There is the backhand. Backhand makes the decision to go to the snake himself for Leverage. Sorry, he goes to the snake insert, but clearly that's where he's headed.
So body count on Leverage. What do you have? I have 2 Titan players still right now, one in the juice box and one in the snake insert.
So Leverage is up at the 50 on the Dorito side. They're moving up the middle. That's 2. Our third one is in the snake insert bunker. So I believe we're at 3 bodies. Leverage owning the 50s. They really need to take advantage of it quick, though.
Yeah. Leverage up by 2, really? Like, do they really need to do anything at this point?
True. I've seen so many bodies peel off on the 50s. I feel like they're not the most livable bunkers. And so if you take them, I just feel like you need to do damage quick from them because it doesn't seem like you can stay there for super long. You either finish the game or you die out of them. It's a very overarching statement, but that's what I've seen this weekend.
You guys can't see because it's just off cam, but we are right up against the 10-man field. They're playing some 10-man today, and the unique thing about that, and we'll get back to the game in a second, is they have both an X and the Millennium Tower on the 10-man field, you can see.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Interesting.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Looks like they've borrowed bunkers from every field in Florida to make enough bunkers to do that.
Yeah.
So my Leverage are still in the juice box and in the snake insert, just holding it down.
Titans.
It's the Titans that need to come and do something here.
Absolutely, and I think that comes down to this Titan player in the God bunker, that snake insert mini temple. He's got to win the battle with his mirror and then make that bump.
We're now at the 5.5-minute mark.
So Leverage player over here in the Dorito 50 just hunting. He's looking for something to shoot at. There's a lot of bunkers blocking clear lines of sight. So he has to hunt a little bit to figure out what to shoot at. I believe he's dropping paint on the home at the moment.
So right now, as you can see, Daniel's looking for making sure he doesn't miss any moves here for Leverage. Maybe, looking down the Doritos, making sure they're not getting ran down. Guys coming up the center.
Speaking of, as you can see, I would say fog has rolled in.
Yeah, could you hear the horns?
That's a New England thing. I always hear those in my head. Titan home player kind of dropping back, moving around, trying to find something to shoot at.
So it's a 3-on-3 here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And
Leverage in better position spread across the 50. They're also in a better tactical situation because they're up by 2 points. Yeah. This has been a long, slow point.
Watch this. Oh, Daniel forcing the gunfight and getting eliminated. That's player on Leverage.
Titans.
Sorry, Titans.
2 Titans walking out at the same time. This falls right. They need to hit the flag. They need to hit the buzzer real quick. Flag out of that.
But they also get a minor.
Towel out of it.
The Titans get a minor.
I'm watching the Titans captain holding the buzzer in his hand. He's trying to decide whether or not to hit it. He just made eye contact with me, too. He knows we're thinking the same thing. What do you do? What do you do here? Do you let your player just try to win it?
Well, I think he's also looking at us to see if we know what's going on. So right now it's a 1-on.
He's walking away from the buzzer. He's not going to towel it.
But what do you have? I have one body. He's over in Dorito 2. I'm whispering so nobody hears me.
We have the Dorito 50 hot for Leverage.
Yeah.
We've got this tower.
So it's a 2-on-1.
Oh, sorry, that's a ref behind.
Oh, here comes a run through. And he gets him clean.
Nice finish for Leverage.
Yeah. So
Titans, in retrospect, and it's easy for me to say this, Titans should have toweled out of that about a minute ago.
Yeah.
Again, that's real easy for me to say with benefit of hindsight.
So that's going to take the score 3-0 in favor of Leverage. And the good thing about that is
30 seconds.
it's only 3 minutes left.
That's a good thing unless you're Titans, because Titans are now in a bad situation, right? They only got 3 minutes on the clock. They got 3 points they need to make up. While not impossible, they're not in a good situation now.
Yeah. So coming back on the field, All-Stars and Effect. You can see Effect there on your
10
screen.
seconds.
Casey
Branson,
All-Stars
Belly.
Does Casey Allstars have some of the tallest players on the in the semi-pro? Man, I'm looking at these guys are giant.
So All-Stars in the red.
East Coast Effect goes for Snake Wall 1. It doesn't work. Good job by the All-Stars picking them up on the run out.
So I've got 5 bodies alive here for the All-Stars. We had only 3 guns up off the break.
East Coast Effect with 4 players. They do have that very important Snakeside Tower.
All-Stars coming in on 2 wins, 2 losses this event.
So now it's 4v4. All-Stars lose a player along the back line.
And with this many teams in semi-pro this event, it all comes down to point spread.
So what I'm about to say is much easier said than done, but I'd really like to see that East Coast Effect player and that can on the back line make a bump into the God. Now I say that, but he's got this middle wedge for All-Stars locking him down.
We just lose Joe Twickler for All-Stars out of the back row. We're now down to 4.
So there's an opportunity. I mean, that can for East Coast Effect on the Snake side. Really, he's got to get gun dominance and make his bump.
Yeah. By the way, well done, All-Star, for not only having the number on the back of your jersey, but on the front and very legible. Yeah. So whoever was responsible for that, that's awesome.
The bane of our existence is players with unreadable jerseys.
Yeah, I also like some of them have their numbers on their shoulder as well.
So a KC player, All-Star, walks out, and that was the guy doing the best job of holding back the move into the Snake. And there we go. East Coast
That was
Effect
Dan
recognizes
Reiner.
it, and he immediately gets in a Snake Wall 1.
Yeah. Oh. Here comes 36 for East Coast into our territory. I lose another body for the All-Stars. That looks like that was Bubba. And unfortunately for All-Stars, that's going to let Effect take this point.
All-Stars had a chance to run away with the match, but they couldn't close that one out, so East Coast Effect is going to claw their way back into it with a lot of time on the clock. We're going to take a look at that breakout here in a second and see what went right and what went wrong. On your right side of the screen, you should see an East Coast Effect player trying to get in that Snake. All-Stars did a great job putting guns up on what is honestly not an often-used running lane. And let's see which gunners. So we got number 21. And
yeah, see, I only had 3 guns up right
3.
there, but we do manage to get into all of our bunkers.
Yeah, so number 3 over there for All-Star might have been the one that got the shot in on the East Coast Effect player going into
I
that
know it's a
Snake.
different division, but the women's yesterday, they had a team called Belladonna, as you know, and they always had 5 guns up, and they were not always successful,
Yeah.
but more successful than most teams, eliminating at least 1 body off the break.
I mean, if you can start 4 and 5 at the beginning of the game, that's an enormous statistical advantage that you're probably going to win the match. So 5 guns up. I guess what you do is you take a look at your roster and say, what are we? What are we as a team? Are we a team that's really going to run and take 50s on the break? If not, then maybe we should focus on, guns up play and trying to get kills on the break. I've tried to convince my own team of that.
So it looks like we're on a timeout here for some reason. The clock has stopped.
We have a slight break. The fog
Yeah.
is super rolling in, if you can see this, folks.
Yeah, right now it looks like we are the only field here. There's nothing beyond. You see something on the other side of the tent,
Yeah.
but there's no other fields here. But thank you guys for watching at home. This is the 2023 live broadcast of the Semi-Pro and WNXL, the women's, and we're going to get to some of those play this afternoon. As we said before, we're going to have some Ochos and some quarterfinals here today. Thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors. If it wasn't for them, you guys wouldn't be watching us right now. You can see them on your screen just to shout them out. Please support them.
Yeah, please support our sponsors. They really are what makes this possible. And this is a big deal to give these teams a chance to go home and watch footage and show their friends and family what I'm doing on the weekend and why I come home with all these welts. All right, Titans versus Leverage. Titans on my left. Titans go for a wide breakout. It does not work. They lose their snake corner immediately. Good shooting by Leverage. Oh, the Titans lose another player, and they're down by 3-0. They cannot afford to lose this point, but as it's going, they're probably going to. They're already down 3-on-5.
Yeah. Leverage just rolling their guns right now, not giving them much.
I would not be surprised if the Titans coach said, hey, look, we're down 3-0. Let's try a breakout that's a little more aggressive or a little bit different and see if we can make something of this point, because what we're doing so far isn't working as well as we needed to. Unfortunately, that breakout did not work. Oh, 2 more Titans players walking off. That should just leave 1 alone. I believe he's in the snake side tower, scrunched down, trying to hope that nobody notices him.
Yeah, Leverage taking snake corner just to give it anchor here.
Yeah, Titans towel out of that. That's going to put Leverage in an almost unstoppable position in terms of both time and score. They're going to be up by 4 points with 2.5 on the clock. That is incredibly tough for Titans.
And especially with how fast these points are going. It's these are quick points. I was afraid that we had one really long one there for a moment.
Yep.
But
you sound like a man that wants to go home early.
No, not at all. I'm enjoying this. So let's rewatch the breakout here.
Yeah, here we go.
We had at least 5 guns or 4 guns up there that I could see.
Titans' big first loss was the guy trying to go to the snake. And it looks like number 89 for the Titans just lost a gunfight.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much a breakout kill, but I think he just lost a gunfight.
Yeah, see my guys here, 5 guns up. You could see that the tower called his kill. Yeah. But let's see here.
Good work.
So we've got East Coast Effect on the right side of your screen in the dark jerseys, losing 1 body right off the break. That was going to be their snake player.
Allstars lose their player going up the middle. Oh, there's a run through.
Yeah, Effect all the way through.
Wow, it is working. Nobody's picked him up. The fog is playing to his advantage. He's going to finish out
Hold
this
on,
game.
there's a minor penalty or major being called on who?
Don't know. We're going to find out in a second.
Everybody. Oh,
I think it's being called on the Allstars.
No, it's the Effect because referees going and pulling feverishly.
He must have, yeah. Oh, man.
Wow.
If not for that major, that was an incredible move.
Yeah, but how many players are left, if any, for Effect here after that penalty? If there's one, this was a victory. And it looks like there is.
Is it? No.
Not.
It's a body
He's
running
running
off.
past.
That might be a no point.
Well, the refs haven't called the game, so there is at least a body alive on that field. Otherwise, the ref would be calling it right now.
Or the refs are trying to sort it out. I think there may be 1 player over at the 50 on the Dorito for East Coast. No, it's a rat. Yeah, there he goes. He's streaking in.
Yeah. And, yes, they call him.
The fog is legit. Would you call that the fog of war?
Yeah, so you can see it on your screen. I'm watching your monitor at home right now. You can definitely see how most of the event has disappeared. So here's a replay of the run-through. We lose 1, we lose 2, we lose 3, and then somewhere in there, he definitely got shot.
Trying to see if I can see it. Is it a tank? Is it a pack?
Can we... I almost want to watch that one more time because I'd like to see if we can find where he gets shot and see if anybody's even looking at him again. Here he comes, down the field. There,
on his elbow?
To be honest with you, all 4 opponents were looking other side. No one was looking at him. Where did that come from?
So the ref comes in. The ref came in. He clearly saw the hit happen because he didn't come in to expect the player for a hit. He came in throwing the flag.
Yeah.
So I would imagine right before he arrived at that Dorito is when the hit occurred.
Not to beat a dead horse, but can we watch that one more time?
I'd rather you beat a dead horse than a live horse.
Well, I'd like to see that because, okay, so there he comes. Okay, so he may have gotten shot right there by the 50, if not the tall tower. At least had his gun up. Yeah. Maybe he triggered him at least once.
I'm going to say number 15, the tall tower. That has the best opportunity because he kind of ran through his gun, the East Coast Effect player, without realizing he was there.
Yeah. Well, we paid good money for our replay. We're going to darn well use it. But that's great. I'd love to see that in a replay because sometimes, even as a ref, you make a call really quick. Had you had a replay that you were able to access, it would be great. And that's the other thing. Like, in NFL sports, you have 100 replay cameras, right? And you have different angles, and you can watch it back and forth. In paintball, let's be honest. I mean, even if you had 10 cameras out there, you're never going to capture that angle, and certainly on a replay. And by the time Yeah. I mean, it's nice to use as a tool for the commentators, but the refs, I don't think we're ever going to be able to get there.
The refs are out there figuring it out on their own in real time as events are moving real fast around them.
10
So
seconds.
All right,
10
leverage
seconds here.
Titans in just an almost insurmountable hole here. They're down by 4, 2.5 on the clock. I'm expecting just kamikaze play through the middle.
Game on.
This is not only game point, but
Titans immediately lose their snake player.
so we lose number 36. That was Thomas.
Leverage body peeling off the back line, though. But, with 2 minutes on the clock, the Titans need to be all across the 50s right now or passing by the 50s winning this game.
Yeah.
Another leverage player walks off, but still they're holding the clock. And now there's a minor on the Titans.
Yeah. We lose number 14. That's Daniel. Daniel's been a key player for them as well. So we're down to what I think is just 2 Titans players left, unfortunately.
We're under 2 on the clock. I believe we have 3 players left alive for leverage. Leverage player at the 50 wedge over here. Another Titan walking off in the middle.
Yeah, he was in a tough spot to be there by himself, unfortunately.
And all the leverage needs to do right now is just milk the clock. Oh. Leverage player decides, no, I want to hit the buzzer. They're going to try to win this game.
Yeah.
They're going to get the mercy.
So you can tell on your screen, like, cameras can usually go past a lot of fog on the field, but it is really rolling in. Like we've said it before, but you can't even see the vendors on the other side of the field on your screen at home. And it's not just effect at distance. When you're out there on the field, it's definitely diminished.
Yeah, the fog has prevented our vision of the other side of the field with where you find wonderful sponsors like Infamous Paintball, Gel Blasters. Sorry, trying to go corporate here for a second.
I also, I'm squinting to try to get through this fog as if it's going to do something, but it's not.
No.
So whatever, hopefully the sun will pop shortly and it'll immediately kill that fog as well as start making us commentate on how hot it is. We've had, the huge factor, this heat this weekend, how many athletes right now are feeling it?
Oh, I'd imagine.
Right, day 3 of this heat, you miss one day where you're not properly hydrated, it takes a couple days to actually get back to normal. Liquid IV and all these other transfused drinks aside, I mean, that's another thing. I had a friend on my team that used to drink Pedialyte just because he needed to.
Yeah,
right.
And, So if you remember yesterday morning, what we were complaining about, and that was too much sun. The sun was so intense and at such a low angle yesterday morning that the snake players were having a difficult time looking Dorito side. So we have the opposite problem this morning. I don't know which one is better or worse.
Well, I dare say this, but I looked at the weather as well, and we may see some precipitation over the next couple of days as well. So, that may or may not affect what we're doing here, but already this morning the dew on the grass mixed with the paint oils, that field is really slippery out there. I know that, again, will make a huge factor on how people are running and sliding and diving right now.
So at both Chicago and Philly, we saw a lot of deaths to oversliding. Once the rains came through, players it was a no-win. You try to slow yourself down to not overslide. You get shot by the other team while you're running. You go full speed, you overslide, the team shoots you oversliding.
Well, if memory served, in Chicago, we had Forrest Gump rain.
Yeah.
We had rain coming down straight, sideways. It was bad for a while there.
Philly,
we're lucky.
same deal.
Yeah, and we're lucky here, and this is also a sandy soil, so even if it does rain, it drains pretty fast. Wow, we're talking about weather and scientific facts here, where we really should be talking paintball. So coming back on the field here, we're going to have, we're having a bit of a technical timeout because the refs are still dealing with what's happening here, and they're also now cleaning some of the bunkers. So. But we're going to have East Coast and Missouri. Sorry, I was stepping on you there.
Yeah, no. So when we come back, there's going to be 8 minutes on the clock. And while the score doesn't look good for East Coast Effect, and it's not, with 8 minutes on the clock, they have a lot to work with. It's not going to force their hand in terms of breakout or play style yet, right? As that clock ticks down to maybe 4 minutes, then your coaches are going to have to start making some hard decisions about what their breakouts are going to look like and what their play style is going to be.
So
We are counting bodies on the Allstars right now. I only see 4 on the field. I would not be shocked if they're starting down a body due to that.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, there we go. We got 5.
So you got Twickler back out there, Reiner, Goodwin. Twickler's been good for them today so far. We've seen a lot from him.
East Coast Effect has not taken the field yet. I believe they may have hit a timeout. That makes the most sense.
Well, that makes sense if the clock was actually running. But the refs are just cleaning and organizing right now. And squeegeeing. Well, we'll let the refs do their thing.
By the way, if you were working as a ref at a local or regional event, squeegee the bunkers. Why? Because it makes your life a lot easier.
Sure.
Yeah, once the bunkers start getting covered in paint and the players start claiming that every hit is rubbed, it makes your life hell as a ref.
Yep.
So take that 2-minute downtime between games and squeegee bunkers. Trust me on this one.
I also had an opportunity. There was a gentleman that just walked by. I don't know where they sell him, which booth, but he has a Chronic backpack.
Chronic?
Mm-hmm. Did you see him walk by?
I haven't heard that name in a while. Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Do you want me to tackle him, take his backpack? Sir, come back.
Yeah. The 2000's called. I love that backpack. I think it's great.
By the way, if you were here, I'm going to speak about other vendors here. If you were here at the venue, dear God, you need to go try the Smokey Joe's barbecue.
Absolutely.
It's stunningly good here.
And I liked how you were offered a piece yesterday, and you were like, yeah, sure, I'll try. First bite in, you were sold.
First bite in, I dropped the headset, and I said, I got to go.
Yeah.
I went straight to Smokey Joe's barbecue.
Yeah. The gentleman I'm traveling with here that's helping with the production, he's never been to my favorite restaurant, which is a Mexican restaurant called Chuy's here.
Chuy's.
And they make their own tortillas there, all that sort of stuff. And I felt bad because I was forcing him to go because I really was fixated on going. And when we were done, I asked him what he wants to do for dinner tomorrow. It's on him. And he goes, could we come back here?
Oh, really?
So we've done twice there now, and we may end up celebrating the end of the tournament maybe with a Chuy's dinner on Sunday.
Are you familiar? Fantastic. Are you familiar with the term Florida man? Florida man is a meme in the United States, and it's somewhat unfair.
Is there a Netflix
of people in Florida doing just really crazy or dumb things. Anyways, the most Florida man attraction in this area is Gator World. You heard about Gator World?
Yes, I had friends that went to Gator World. Yeah.
It is literally just pens full of alligators, folks. Occasionally somebody from the staff will come out and chuck a unprocessed chicken right into the lake just to watch it. There's really no organization or talent scouting to this whole organization. It's just pure Florida.
I'm sure it's heavily regulated, though.
I'm sure there's some regulation.
Safety's in place. Yeah. I think Florida Man is right up there with people of Walmart. Well, ladies, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we give it a couple of minutes here? We'll hit you up with some commercials, and when we get back rolling, we'll be back. All right, so the clock is rolling now. I don't know if we had a fog delay there, but certainly here we are.
There's a conversation about did the call stand, so obviously there was a little bit of sorting out by the refs the situation.
Oh, I gotta love this. Look at this picture-in-picture here, ladies and gentlemen. So Allstars on the left of your screen there.
East Coast Effect, safe breakout, 5 alive. They cannot afford to drop this point. Allstars getting a check, but he's called clean at that tower, that all-important tower. First player walking off for East Coast Effect from their Dorito side. Allstars have the luxury of just sitting behind their guns. They're up 3-1. The clock is moving downward. East Coast Effect is the one that has the impetus. They've got to move forward. They've got to figure out a way to break this field.
Yeah, my Allstars, they've got lots of paint on them. They are not giving away a lot.
You don't mean hits, right?
No, they've got a lot of tubes or pods of paint.
Yeah.
I call them pods. Some people call them tubes.
I'm old enough when people used to call them guppies.
So I do lose an all-star player. 2
of them. And a minor. That minor might have been on the first player that was running over there that can, because his follow-up player immediately walked off, and I don't see the refs pulling another body. Another All-Star player walking off. This might be what East Coast needs to claw their way back into this match. I believe East Coast is still at 4 bodies alive. They're still kind of tucked in. They haven't really gotten out to the tapes yet. But they're up big on bodies.
There's still lots of time in this game, though.
Yeah.
Still lots of time. I wouldn't be surprised if, well, we'll see. You've got lots of East Coast players. I'm down bodies.
So East Coast Effect needs to start working in pairs to suppress the 2 gunners that are left for All-Stars. If they can just get one gunner suppressed, then they can start making their bumps, especially out to the tape lines. If I'm the East Coast Effect right now, I'm going to try to figure out how to get a player up that Dorito side. I think that's the best way to break this field at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in great position to get over here into this snake.
So we just saw this not too long ago, Matt. All-Stars did, well, I shouldn't say this now because they only have 1 player left, but they had 2 players anchoring. The other team before had 2 players anchoring, and they were able to kill 2.5 minutes. But that's it. That's going to be the last All-Star player in the juice box left. How long is he going to be able to defend after 4?
He's about to get bunkered.
And he's going to have to take that bunker because they need to let that time go off that clock.
So even though All-Stars just lost this point, they chewed, we're going to say, not quite 3 minutes on the clock. So while it is a point loss, it isn't the worst. If you're going to lose a point and you're the All-Stars right now, that's the way to do it. Long point.
And that is going to be marked, marked clean. So that's going to take the score 3-2. We've got a match here, ladies and gentlemen.
We are in X-Ball right now, which means the other match is over. So we're just going to take about a minute break, and then we're going to get both these teams back on the field.
Yeah. With all of that melee, Leverage ended up taking it 5-0.
Yeah, mercy the Titans. A bit of a surprise because I thought the Titans were playing really well this weekend, but
as did I.
They have not practiced fog. I'm going to use that as an excuse. Is it foggy in New Zealand?
I would say it is. It's a very maritime-y country.
You're taking away their excuses. I gave them an excuse, and you're pulling it right out from underneath them.
Yeah, some of their main diet is fish. So, aren't they? Yeah. Pardon my ignorance, but isn't it like not smelt, but what do you call that fish that's really smelly? Not sardines. There's a certain word in there. If you guys know, maybe put it up in the live chat. But there's a real stinky fish that over in that part of the world they enjoy, and I'm hoping that it's New Zealand. But
somebody knows what it is.
Yeah. So down to 1 minute here before we start this match. We have KC Missouri All-Stars coming on. They're up by 1 over East Coast Effect. East Coast Effect looked great that last point. Yes, the minor penalty killed the All-Stars. However, Effect did cause that.
So by bringing the score back to 2-3 for East Coast Effect with 5 minutes on the clock, they just freed up their coach to start going back to game plans he liked instead of forcing his hand into here's the things we have to do because the clock is telling us we don't have options.
Yep.
So that was a big point for East Coast Effect. They can go back to whatever game plan they want. They don't have to act desperate yet.
Yep.
3 seconds.
Do we get any answer on that fish situation?
Trout.
Trout?
It's not trout. The one I'm thinking of is not trout. Sorry, I apologize. I shouldn't ram that down your throat.
10 seconds.
It's a mystery that needs to be solved, Internet. Get right on it, please. All right. All-Stars on my left, East Coast Effect on my right.
Game on.
Ooh, 5 guns up for Effect.
All-Stars choose to do a breakout to the snake I haven't seen done much this weekend, and that is run a player at that corner bunker and then drop and crawl right into the snake. And what he's doing is he's using the Snake 1 wedge as a kind of a lane blocker, and it'll hide him while he crawls up into the snake.
East Coast Effect lose their first player. It is so foggy. All I'm seeing is his profile. So I can't tell you who he is. He's going to walk by me here in a minute. But
All-Stars into this 50 brick over here on the snake side. They're in a dominant position.
That was
now.
Kevin.
So I believe it's 5-on-4 for All-Stars. More importantly, they have great position up here in the snake. And he immediately peels off the home player.
I lose another Effect player. There's a profile walking off the field from the back corner.
Good aggressive play by number 22 for All-Stars.
Minor penalty on Effect. That's going to give the All-Stars an opportunity here to do something.
And I would say that coach wisely toweled out of that situation as quick as possible.
These towels are a killer. They are a fun ruiner.
The penalties, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how. I really do love the current penalty system. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say as a player, but because it gives the refs so much control to immediately redress wrongs on the field.
Yep.
And immediately, ameliorate anything that's not fair out there. So I'm a huge fan of it. I played back in the day before there were flags, where the refs mostly could just tell players, hey, stop that, or I'm going to tell you to stop it again. And it was really out of control.
Well, let's see where things went wrong here. So here we go. We see Allstars only had 3 guns up.
So my opinion, what went wrong, really, really wrong here for East Coast Effect is what you don't see. And that is the all-star player making it out to that snake corner, dropping and crawling up the snake, because he's the one, number 22 for All-Stars, that just did a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Now, that's, like I said, that's an unusual run pattern. I can't be too mad at East Coast Effect for not dedicating a gun to stopping it, because not many teams have taken that route.
Are you getting angry with these teams?
I'm getting so angry. I'm boiling with rage.
I've never seen weather like this before. Okay, so you can see the sun's piercing that. I bet you in 20 minutes we won't see fog.
Okay. I'm a little bit more used to this, not because I live in New England, but because for the last summer, Canada was donating lots and lots of smoke to my part of the country because you guys had so many forest fires. We had very foggy days like this down south.
We were giving you mesquite.
Yeah, right. That certain smoky flavor that made our country just smell so good.
We were trying to barbecue America.
You're trying to
with our
smoke us
mesquite,
out?
yes.
Were you slowly pushing the border southward while we were all choking?
A lot of people use Quebec maple to smoke their briskets at home. So,
can you tell me anything about the great maple syrup ring of theft that went on? There's a story about like $500 million worth of maple syrup being stolen or something a couple years back. Do you know what that story is?
I don't. I can tell you that maple syrup, I mean, yes, it grows on trees literally, but it's a 20-to-1 ratio. So for every 20 liters of sap you get, you have to boil that down to really just under a liter.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the process is very expensive. It's not a cheap syrup, and it's got to be done. It's got to be done a certain way, and then it's heavy as well. Mm-hmm. It's very viscous. So I don't know, but I do know that it's a national thing. I would say that even people that have migrated into the country, everybody has at least a jar of maple syrup either in the refrigerator or on their in their cupboards.
Yeah, true maple syrup is expensive stuff. There's lots and lots of
not table syrup.
Exactly.
Table syrup is just sugar.
Sugar, yeah. Sugar sludge. All right, All-Stars up 4-2. There's 4.5 on the clock. East Coast Effect doesn't have to act super desperate, but clock is not in their favor.
By the way, JME Jansen, I'm finally just seeing your comment. That is the fish that I was thinking. Thank you so much.
East Coast Effect crossing the 50. They are into All-Stars territory already. Oh, he's got to get kills quick because if this All-Star in the snake mini wall figures it out, he's going to die.
Yeah, here he comes.
There it is.
And he's going to stay alive.
Did
he get down long enough?
He was at real risk of getting shot by his teammate there, quite frankly.
Okay, that's player number 22 on their team. Believe that's Jeremy.
So I got to be honest, I love the risk there that East Coast Effect took. It didn't work out, but it almost worked out incredibly. I think that was a pretty smart heads-up play by the All-Star player.
Towel being called.
East Coast Effect's going to towel out, try to save some clock. We're under 4 minutes. They're going to go down by 3 points. That was a very daring and nearly incredibly successful move by East Coast Effect. I am totally on board with that one.
That was almost a brain move of the day.
Very close. So, I don't know if you know this, but we have our big brain play of the day trophy award. It's something I give out, and it's not just for who kills the most people. Let me be clear. That's really impressive, but that's not what this is about. I love it when players do little smart things, or big smart things, even better, that you'll know it when you see it. Yeah. It's not so much
the gentleman that won it last time in Chicago. He basically opened up the entire game.
He was pinned against the back line with his teammate. They only had 2 players left, and he sees an opportunity. Saw for just a split second that a gun had come off him, made a move, and blew the game up. Very, very smart play.
Mm-hmm. Now, he was a Sea Dog semi-pro player, but this could go to anybody that comes across this field today.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
Could be one of the women, could be any of the semifinalists that come through.
And I'm sure
his name was Ryan Chandler, by the way.
Yeah, Ryan Chandler. I'm sure whoever we pick, there'll be a lot of people in the thread disagreeing. They'll have their own favorites.
By the way, that fish was surstrumming. It was a traditional dish from northern Sweden that arose during the 16th century when Sweden had a salt shortage. Today the fish has become infamous due to its stinky smell. So,
Is this related to lutefisk then? Are you familiar with lutefisk?
I don't.
There's another Norwegian dish, and I'm going to butcher the recipe here, and please do not try to make this at home. But it is some sort of fish. It's soaked in lye. Yes, lye, which will kill you, for about a week. It's allowed to ferment, which is another word for rot.
This could be what we're talking about.
And then they take it out. They wash it to try to get the lye out, and then they serve it. It's almost like jellied fish. I'm told it's a difficult eat for people that aren't familiar with it.
So the question is, why? Why eat? Why do?
Salt storage issues. Okay, East Coast Effect down by 3 points with under 4 minutes. Nice aggressive move into the snake. It looks like he gets away with it. Allstars a little bit more conservative in the breakout. They're doubled up at home and finally starting to make their secondaries. East Coast Effect up at this 50 brick. Another chance to break the game open. Tower's not looking at him. He has a chance to blow him up. The tower for Allstars dropped down at just the right time and hit himself from this brick. So the element of surprise is now lost for East Coast Effect at this brick. He can still do a lot of damage from it, but he needs to win gunfights. Well, he's thinking about dropping and crawling. Allstars still just digging in, trying to kill the clock.
Yeah. Effect into the other side of the snake now. Yeah. He doesn't have a lot to shoot at. Allstars are really hunkered in their bunkers right now.
I think if he looks inside, he can take this tower immediately, and perhaps that back can.
But even that tower is shooting across Dorito's side. Now he turned over and he got shot because of it.
2 Allstars players walking off.
Oh, we had a major penalty.
Oof.
Major penalty being called on Effect. The player from the snake definitely played on there.
That is going to be 2 different points.
But you know what? Effect had enough players, but he threw his body away. Are there any Effect players left other than the one?
There's one, but he's getting pulled on that major.
Yeah. So at this point, is there any more Effect players on the field? With that fog, it's making it very difficult to see. But
Effect's going to need to towel out. That's going to put him down by 4 points, though.
But there is an All-Star player left alive. So at least
you are correct.
Yeah. So just one last All-Star player. So
and he has no reason to hit the buzzer. Is at this point East Coast Effect just conceding the match? Because they should be hitting the buzzer if they have any intention of continuing to play this match.
Well, it's going to take it to a 4-on-2 or 4-2 with 2 minutes on the clock. Still playable.
You're correct.
Seldom wrong, but I believe that.
I think we're having a scoreboard stoppage.
We're having a timeout right now, a technical timeout.
Yeah, they're having a scoreboard issue. So the scoreboard may not be correct both in time and point.
Because the point's been approved. The scoreboard's now running, and it's 4-2.
Is it though?
I
have a memory of a goldfish, so I could be wrong. I see what's on the board. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think for a second there we flashed the score to the leverage game, or maybe the point was awarded to the wrong team for a second there. So for just a second it was 5-2. I think
could have been that you just didn't have your breakfast. So thank you to our wonderful sponsors. While we sort this out, have a look at your screen. It's because of them that this league exists, as well as this broadcast, and specifically this broadcast.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
The league only exists because of this broadcast.
Yeah, easily.
Is what I'm
Maybe
is
the
what
whole
I'm
world
thinking.
only exists because of this broadcast.
It seems that way. So thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Todd Ensich. I'm from Behind the Bunker Paintball Podcast, and that really big, large head there, that was Matt Falby.
It's huge. It's like I was cast for the show Big Head on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm an
Sorry
alternate.
to the producers. I don't think Matt knew you were coming to him. And
No. So the scoreboard is actually 6-2. There was a correction of the scoreboard. The score is 6-2. That puts East Coast Effect in a huge, enormous hole, almost unwinnable.
I would say, and if they're not going to make it to Sunday and the resources are low, they may choose not to play it, but I do see them walking out on the field.
Yep.
The other thing is, resources low or not, the cost to paint here at World Cup is so inexpensive. Take that time you have on the field to go play.
At this point, if you're looking at this score in this situation, I would be fine with, as a coach, with just telling my players, go have fun. I mean, both teams can almost just treat this as a go have fun situation. Because it's not realistically going to affect the match in almost any direction.
Dr. Joy had said that there was a national shortage of syrup. and people were replacing barrels of syrup with water-filled barrels.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently, I mean, it was a huge money crime. It wasn't a little thing.
No.
Game on.
All right, All-Stars on the right, losing their first body off the break, and the second.
East Coast Effect, it's a shame. They've figured out how to push this snake on the break very successfully so. It's a shame that it's taken them this long, though. If they had been doing this consistently early in the match, they might have won this whole thing. Because this is 3 games in a row the East Coast Effect has done a wonderful job getting the snake on the break, getting up to the 50 very, very quickly, and being ready to do a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
East Coast Effect spread across the 50s. They're now crossed into the other team's territory. They're going to win this point. It's not going to matter all that much.
So here comes Effect running through
So watch the time.
All-Stars.
East Coast Effect's going to hit the buzzer. I'm going to guess it's 1:15-ish by the time the buzzer gets hit.
Ace.
Something like that. So minute 15, they're going to be down by 3 again. It's not, in the history of paintball, it's not impossible.
But again, it's point spread right now.
Oh, for moving it, for seeding, for the...
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? This may or may not help them, but you darn well going to try.
Yeah.
And regardless, I would never give up a game unless it was over. You know, even if I'm losing, I'm still fighting.
Yeah, fighting the good fight.
Fighting the good fight.
All right, once more into the breach, my friend.
Well,
Historical reference? Anyone? No? Okay. Anyways, Charge of the Light Brigade. Look it up. Yeah, I mean, I
but
hear
not
you.
now while people are watching us live.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
keep sending people away to go do
To
stuff.
go to your local library, look up the Charge of the Light Brigade.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is yeah, you're right. You never give up, never surrender. You know, rah rah rah. But realistically, I think the match is out of control. For me, I'd just be trying to use this as a coach to tell my players, hey, let's try some stuff. Maybe I'm going to put some of my backup players in, give them some spins. You're right. And I'm speaking as an East Coast Effect coach.
Yeah.
If I'm the Missouri All-Stars coach and I'm worried about seeding going into the next round, then yes, I'm with you on that one.
But what about East Coast Effect? Yes, they're losing this point possibly, but what if this point spread might give them an advantage over another team that's equal in the standings, right?
You're right.
So
That's a good point.
you always fight when you fight.
Yeah. You're correct.
Never surrender.
So waiting on the other end of this is we have a number of teams that are already in the playoffs due to, I forget what we're calling them, like the champions rule. It's a champion's chance to miss having to play the prelims. So there's 4 teams, the top teams in the league for this year, that did not have to play the playoffs. Play the prelims coming in today. They've basically been able to have the luxury of hanging out in hot tubs and watching games.
Yeah, which may not be a luxury.
It could be a negative if they come in cold.
10 seconds.
Up next, we're going to have Preferred Mob taking on Greenville Growl and Vegas Misfits taking on Sacramento DMG. But right now, we've got East Coast Effect on the right side of your screen, down by 3 points.
All-Stars
Running down that field, losing their first body.
All-Stars do a relatively basic breakout, nothing fancy.
Effect back into that snake now at the 50 snake and Dorito 3.
This was good by All-Stars. They immediately got a guy into the snake because they've seen how much damage the snake player from East Coast Effect has been doing, and they're trying to counter that.
Yeah, Effect now at the 50.
3 players
60
dead
seconds
for All-Star.
left. Can they get another point? Here comes a run through. Now send your snake player through. Clean some stuff up. Go hit that flag. They're going to get another point here in under 60-second play.
45 seconds on the clock.
As long as it's clean. So there we go, closing that gap.
Boy, is East Coast Effect going to make me look like a fool?
Well, Team Falby would already be wiping down their pods and getting ready to go home, but not East Coast Effect.
Okay,
they
very
are
true.
Playing.
It hurts to hear you say that openly, but I have to admit to that.
Yeah, no, and you know what? Again, like, keep that fight going. And East Coast, I mean, they're rocking right now.
They figured out some magic again. If I'm going to take a negative out of a positive, but East Coast Effect has been so effective getting into the snake on the breakout in the second half of this match. The negative to that is, why didn't they do it earlier?
Yeah.
And I know it's easy to say.
But also mentally, All-Stars had this game in the bag,
Yeah.
and the last 2 points they came out didn't look like they were doing anything but going through the motions.
I think it's like fish swimming upstream. I think most players aren't real good at playing defense. They're so used to playing offense. Even if you have practices as a team where you say, we're going to work on defensive situations,
Yeah.
we're going to work on down body situations, which you should do and you need to do. The problem is that everything except that situational play is generally about being aggressive and winning games.
Yeah.
So Passively, players get a lot more aggressive time.
So here's the quick replay on that last point there. There you go. So I think All-Stars have been slapped now, and are going to wake up and say, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah.
We're going to win this match.
Yep.
East Coast Effect is going to do the exact same thing that's been working, and All-Stars are most likely would be to call them on it.
So All-Stars need to put probably 2 guns looking snake way, right? Because the East Coast has figured out how to get in the snake off the break and do a ton of damage from it.
Yeah.
They've got to get multiple guns. All-Stars have to get multiple guns looking towards the snake runner.
3 seconds.
So we'll know here in 20 seconds how this plays out.
47
But
seconds.
all eyes on Effect. See if they can get that point.
10 seconds.
All right, All-Stars. Let's see if you can hold them back.
East Coast Effect takes a run to the corner. They're going to try to loop it and go in. It looks like it works.
Yeah, back into the snake
Nobody
they go.
firing at him at all.
Yeah, looks like All-Stars are hunkered down in their bunkers. They lose their home body already.
That is a very curious decision for me from the All-Stars. The All-Stars not only did not catch the snake runner, he didn't have any fire on him once he was in the snake.
Yeah, 25 seconds. Nice. All-Stars trying to move up the field, not having much success there, losing their home. The last body. Look at this.
Going to hit the buzzer with about 15 on the clock, maybe less.
12 seconds, and that's a 6-5 if this point is clean.
Wow. Okay, very curious decision by All-Stars to really not dedicate guns over here on the snake side. 3 games in a row, we've seen East Coast Effect take a run and get into the snake on the run out, and then do a bunch of damage from it.
Maybe they were predicting that wasn't going to happen again.
They got too much in their own head. They tried to
Maybe.
Well, in any case, even once the East Coast player was into the snake, he very quickly realized there's not even any guns on him at that point.
Now, player number 26 there, can't read his name there. It's very dark. He looks winded. He looks gassed. And as you would be if you just spent the last 3 points running. Maybe a little bit defeated as well, but 12 seconds left on the clock. Yes, I know Houston Heat did a 7-second point. I get it. But, you're still 5-on-5, and you're against All-Stars who are not a slump team.
So, assuming that East Coast Effect cannot win this point and tie the match, that's not a bold assumption. It's just so little time. But assuming that, and you're the East Coast Effect, you get in your cars to drive back to your hotel tonight, how do you feel about this match?
I think I'd be disappointed that we didn't eventually win it, but I'd be pretty proud that we almost.
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean. All-Stars, I think I'd be happy that we won it, but I'd be mad at our team that we let those points slip away.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah. So, 45 seconds here on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to hopefully see the finale of this match. Will All-Stars be able to hold it down and stop them on that 12-second push? We'll see. Time will tell.
If All-Stars somehow let this match get tied up, they're going to be kicking themselves.
Yeah.
12 seconds. Really, just dedicate guns up the middle, because that's how there's so little time that any East Coast player effect that has a chance of hitting your buzzer has to go basically in a straight line, right? So don't bother putting a lot of guns to the outside. Put 2 or 3 guns up the middle and just stop a straight run through.
Yeah. So all eyes on Effect. Let's see if they can pull out a 12-second point. All-Stars don't need to. They just need to hold them back. So I assume Effect's the only one that's going to be going past the 50 right now. Effect taking the snake corner, getting eliminated. 2 up the gut, left. That's it. Effect down to 2 players. 2 players down to 1 player, and that is it. Oh, and there was some extra shots after the fact. Are the refs going to pull any penalties on that, or are they just going to leave it?
I think both players chose to continue shooting after the buzzer.
Yeah.
They kind of mutually agreed.
Yeah.
And now there's hugging. So,
and the ref's not going to call that. Everybody's happy with each other, so.
The flag would be kind of meaningless at that point.
Yes.
And the players immediately hug it out, so I don't think there's any bad blood to be kept on this.
Yeah. So that was good. That was good. All right, you can see.
Hugging it out.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, very nearly an incredible comeback from East Coast Effect. a mixed bag of emotions walking off from that one. If they had kind of figured out their game plan just a couple points earlier, they might be going home with a win on this one.
For sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you for a few minutes. When we come back, we're going to have Preferred Mob taking on Greenville Growl, Vegas Golden Misfits taking on Sacramento DMG, and, well, quite frankly, more of us. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.